So are we supposed to start the podcast?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to I've Had It.
I feel like you're neglecting. That was a great clap.
I thought it was,
You thought it was lackluster?
I thought it was average. I've heard some robust claps before, and I just didn't feel like that was one that echoed through the room.
I felt really good about it.
Well, I don't want to steal your thunder.
On my clap.
Pumps, what have you had it with?
Okay, what I've had it with, it's fucking hysteria from meteorologists about weather. First of all, they break into programming, which is normally fine because I'm not streaming, but if I'm watching something, they break in about weather, and then the weather never fucking happens.
Mm-hmm.
If I was that bad at my job, I wouldn't have it. For years on end, if I was standing up there preaching mass hysteria, and it never fucking happened. At what point do we as the public say, you're full of shit? It doesn't happen. Like this weekend, I took the dog schedule completely about because we were going to have all this weather. A couple moms were on a group text because our kids were in Norman. Oh my God, are the kids going to be safe? Like 47 texts. And I'm like, it's never going to fucking happen because I kept looking at the weather and it was like, okay, it's going to happen at 3, then it's going to happen at 5, then 7, then 9. I'm so sick of piss poor weather forecasting / meteorologists that are bad at their jobs.
Let me tell you how I handled that this weekend. First of all, I was blissfully unaware because I don't watch the local news.
Right.
Nor do I Google anything about the local news. And so when I went on Saturday to play pickleball, I noticed the clouds looked somewhat sketch.
Right.
But it's Oklahoma. We live in the Great Plains. Whatever. I didn't care. I arrive and everybody's like, how's the weather? What's going on? You know, we're supposed to get bad weather. And I go, here's the thing. I've lived here pretty much all of my life. And if you completely deconstruct your entire schedule around every single time these people say there's going to be bad weather, your entire spring season is going to be shot with unproductivity. And so I just went. Everybody showed up. It rained some. I heard some thunder. I heard some lightning. I refuse to be a basket case or buy into the hype. Can real weather happen? Yes. But here's the thing. Your phone will start beeping like a siren.
Right.
It will start alerting you immediately. So I'm not buying into this. I'm not going to be involved in group texts. I'm not doing it. I, a long time ago, decided I'm not playing this game. I'm living my life. Now that we live in the modern era, you have a smartphone that will literally beep like a siren. Take cover, a tornado is coming. And you will know it like 30 minutes in advance. So I refuse to sit around and watch the meteorologist with full-blown erections being hysterical. I've had it as well.
I was just going to say, it's 8 hours of them stroking their penis on TV. Nothing ever happens. I changed my whole dog schedule over it. I'm pissed. I've had it. They're bad at their jobs.
I put that on you.
I know.
So let me tell you what I've had it with.
Okay.
I've had it with having to purchase 17 different streaming services as a subscription.
Agree.
I need for somebody to come in and just put it all on one thing. Put it all on one big thing. Because I go in, the other day you told me to watch the Stormy Daniels documentary.
Right.
Couldn't get to my TV fast enough. I go to the Peacock app. I thought that we had a really good plan with the Peacock. Well, guess what? Commercials.
Yeah.
And I thought the reason why you pay the premium price is so you don't have to have the commercials. I'm going into the settings. I feel like I'm constantly fighting with these streaming services. I feel like they're constantly rebranding, merging with others, re-identifying. One app becomes outdated, then you have to go to another app. It is chaos with the streaming apps.
Right.
It is total chaos. There is no oversight. There's no regulating. They are squeezing in commercials when I thought I bought an ad-free thing.
Drives me crazy.
And then they're rebranding and they have a new logo and they merged with somebody else and the old app doesn't work. So then you got to go download this app. Enough.
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 Yeah, I'm with you. I thought I got the app where I did all the stuff, all my streaming. I had to get like 5 or 6 different apps. Then you have to upgrade with the commercials. And I've had the same trouble with Peacock. I buy the premium so I don't have to watch the commercials. Then I have the fucking commercials. And everybody fucks you on the commercials. If you don't want the commercials, you have to pay extra. Well, nobody wants the commercials. So everybody has to pay extra. It's a fucking racket. And I'm with you. Like, it used to be HBO. Now it's Max. It used to be Showtime. Now it's something else. You can't find anything. It just drives me crazy.
Welcome to I've Had It. I'm Jennifer.
I'm Angie.
She's the star of the show. Kylie, do you have any reviews for us?
I actually have a couple TikTok hate comments.
Excellent.
Good. It's been a while.
So we've posted some stuff about moms, which always gets people riled up.
Yeah.
And a lot of TikTokers have been taking the time to make videos about how much they hate us. So there's a lot of good comments underneath. TU commented and said, "These two are so disgusting. I report them anytime I see a video." Now I know who's reporting us.
Right.
They give such negativity to the universe. Enough with these old hags.
Well, that sounds like
That's
she
all
is
she's
super
got.
positive.
That's it. And thank God they're throwing positivity out into the world.
Right. That was not even clever.
That's not even, that doesn't even remotely, I'm disappointed.
I
If
am
that's
too.
supposed to be a takedown,
Bad
that's
takedown.
such a piss poor takedown.
piss poor.
I will say I've noticed these type of people, they're not very clever with their takedowns.
Right.
That's what I was going to say. They're not clever people.
I appreciate a clever takedown.
I do too.
All right, this is from Megs and Toast, and they comment, "My mom loves these women. Speaks a lot on why we have trouble communicating." A listener tried to chime in and said, "They're honestly hilarious, though. It's hard to judge off one clip. You need to watch more." Megs and Toast responds again, "Unfortunately, I've seen quite a few of their videos, all insufferable takes."
See, I like her mother. I think she lacks creativity. I don't think she has a great sense of
Here's
humor.
the situation is sometimes people, there's a collision. They're selling themselves on this. Motherhood is wonderful. Being a wife is wonderful. Life is wonderful. I have inspirational quotes. I take pictures of my coffee art. Everything is completely contained and pulled together. And then there's something when she goes to bed at night, or he, like, God, sometimes life fucking sucks, but they're told this is the American dream. This is the way it's supposed to be played out. And then reality slaps them right in the face. 2 dried up, bitter women that do not give a fuck. That said, what was that video about? Was that the video where we talk about people about labor and delivery?
Mm-hmm, labor and delivery.
That really got a lot of people.
They're told you're supposed to love your labor and delivery stories, and every labor and delivery story is beautiful, and you should share it with everybody. And we said we didn't want to hear it. Imagine getting triggered by the two of us saying, we don't care about labor and delivery stories.
Yeah, there's a lot of snowflakes out there. I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah. All right. So I got this alert on my phone over the weekend, and it was a BuzzFeed article, and I started reading it. And I was sitting there laughing out loud while watching tennis. I got totally distracted. I couldn't really give the tennis match all of my attention because these were so hilarious. And of course, I thought I have to share them with you and the listener. What this is the most cringeworthy, embarrassing, and painfully awkward conversations in all of human history. And I want to give credit to the author. His name is Dave Stopera. Okay, here's the first one. It's called The Laptop Moment. At Love Dove Clark writes, "No, you guys, my dad was watching a video on his laptop in the living room, and I walked up behind him and said, 'Who's that fucking nerd?' And to my horror, the nerd on the screen laughed. It was a Zoom meeting.
No.
The nerd is one of our company's investors."
Oh gosh, that's so embarrassing. You're just dying.
Who's that fucking nerd?
Who's that fucking nerd?
Okay, here's the vape moment. Huey says, "Accidentally vaped in front of my mom, but she only saw the smoke and goes, 'What was that?' So I immediately said, 'No way, you saw that too?'" And Now I have to spend the rest of my life pretending my house is haunted. Now you hide your vaping.
I was
from
going
your
to say,
mother.
I appreciate the creativity with that. I've never been that creative, but I mean, I have blamed smoking and vaping on other people, somebody else's. If you see the smoke, it's cold weather. I coughed. I mean, but the haunted house, that's a whole new level.
Kylie, do you have to hide
creativity.
your vaping from your mother?
She knows, but I try to hide it just out of respect.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. The first time Anna met my mother, which was a really big, scary deal, she's face to face talking to her. And Anna just rips her vape and does a whole cloud right there. And then remembered that that was my mom right in front of her.
Right.
So-
Well, it's just, that's how I do mine. Like, I don't even
It's probably
realize
a
I'm doing
coping
it.
mechanism.
I have one trick I do. So like family Christmas, I'm stuck at the house. I need to be vaping. I'll get like a cup of coffee. I'll hit the vape and then I let it out in the cup. So it just looks like hot coffee.
Steaming coffee.
Steam, like it's steam.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's pretty impressive. See, I just hold it in.
I don't know that that's good.
It's effective.
I know, but I don't know that that's good to just let your body absorb what's supposed to come out.
Yeah, I know. But on an airplane, sometimes you're just stuck.
All right, moving along. Fiona says, was once followed by an oddball in the supermarket, was frightened, so started to speed up. So did he. Ended up with him literally chasing me up and down each and every aisle. Eventually, he caught up. And then he asked if he could have his trolley back.
She had his cart.
She had his cart.
Oh, that's something I would do.
Pumps. I could not function without my dogs, Tubby and Cha Cha.
I couldn't function without Blaze and Ollie.
Today's episode is sponsored by the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program. Your pet is part of your family and you want the best for them no matter what, but vet bills can really add up. That's why you should check out pet insurance. And with ASPCA Pet Health Insurance, you can focus on the care your pet deserves and cover what matters most. The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program offers customizable accident and illness plans, making it easier for pet parents like you to help your pet get the care they may need. The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program has been around for over 18 years. They've helped more than 600,000 pets during that time. They allow you to customize your plan, helping ensure that your pet's plan is as unique as they are. Because vet bills can really add up, especially when you're least expecting it, it's simple. Use their app to submit a claim and you'll receive reimbursement for eligible vet bills directly into your bank account. To explore coverage, visit ASPCAPetInsurance.com/hadit. That's ASPCAPetInsurance.com/hadit. Again, that's ASPCAPetInsurance.com/hadit. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independence American Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and does not engage in the business of insurance. Homes.com knows that when it comes to home shopping, it's never just about the house or condo. It's about the home. And what makes a home is more than just the house or property. It's the location and neighborhood. If you have kids, it's also schools, nearby parks, and transportation options. That's why Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth information they need to find the right home. And when I say in-depth, I'm talking deep. Each listing features comprehensive information about the neighborhood, complete with a video guide. They also have details about schools with test scores, state rankings, and student-to-teacher ratio. They even have an agent directory with the sales history of each agent. So, when it comes to finding a home, not just a house, this is everything you need to know, all in one place. Homes.com. We've done your homework. Okay, here's the straw moment. Nash Flynn says, I thought the barista was going to ask me if I wanted a straw, but unfortunately, instead she said, have a nice day, to which I replied, no, thank you, and then drove away.
I've done shit like that before.
Yeah.
I told an Olive Garden hostess one time I loved her. as I was leaving. I was on the phone with somebody. I think it was one of my kids. And
What?
no,
What? You told an Olive Garden hostess that you loved her?
I did. Okay, so I'm leaving the restaurant and I'm on my phone as I'm leaving the booth. And I always say, bye, I love you to my kids. So I was like, bye, I love you. And so then I was passing by the host. I just hung up. I'm passing by the hostess. She said, bye. And I said, bye, I love you. I did.
At the Olive Garden.
Of the Olive Garden of all places. I remember it so specifically because I was like, oh my God, that's embarrassing. Like, that is stupid. Yeah. Bye, I love you.
Okay. All right. Here's one from Alasdair Kennedy. My granddad was on the train once and noticed that a passenger had forgotten his bag. He grabbed the bag, ran after him, yelled, "Wait, you forgot this," and threw it out onto the platform as the doors were closing. Turns out it was another passenger's bag that was still on the train. That is so something you would do.
I would totally do that. Oh my gosh, that's the worst. I can see me doing that, trying to help, fuck everything up.
Okay. Sophie says, the worst thing has just happened. I will never recover. I just reached into a box of free samples outside a chicken restaurant. Only it wasn't free samples. It was a man holding a box of chicken. His chicken. I tried to steal this man's chicken.
So she walked by and just grabbed his lunch?
Just grabbed a piece of chicken as though it was a sample and then just ate it. And she stole chicken.
Oh, God.
Sophie's out there stealing chicken.
Okay, I have to say, my dirty mind, it came back. I thought you were going to say he had his dick in the bucket and she grabbed his weenie.
Always.
I'm just saying that's when you said his chicken. That was my first thought. I was like, She did a little
Because you know why?
rub and tag. And it was just, oh God, she stole his lunch though.
Okay, this is funny. So a guy orders a sandwich, okay? And then the bag that the sandwich goes in has the description. And it says, must let Tom pick onion. So the guy spent 5 minutes trying to figure out who Tom is and what his onion picking skills have to do with my sandwich. Because obviously, must let Tom pick onion is abbreviated for mustard, lettuce, tomato, pickle, onion.
Yeah, I'm sitting there too, like, why is Tom picking the onion?
Right?
That's exactly.
And then when you see it, it's even more hilarious.
I love that.
Okay. Ginger says, I met a new business contact for the first time in a bar. I dipped into the bowl of nuts at our table and popped a few in my mouth. They were the hardest nuts ever. That's because they weren't nuts. They were olive stones left by the person before us, and now they were in my mouth.
Oh gosh, I hate that.
It's bad.
So it's somebody
Also
else's.
something you would do.
I'm totally.
I've thought that on every single post, kind of. This is just a theme of pumps might do every single
would
one.
do all
Every
this.
single one. Every single one.
Yeah.
Why are they letting Tom pick the onions on my sandwich?
Right. Who's Tom? Why does he care what I eat?
Asterisk writes, please help. My biology teacher asked, what's the opposite of dominant? And I confidentially answered, submissive to the whole class.
Just came out before you could stop it. Now that's a me too, for sure.
Okay, Roxy Horror says, in 8th grade, I had a crush on a boy in my class. At some point, I found out my family was moving and I was going to switch schools. So I wrote him a very long love letter. The day after I read it to him in front of my class, my parents decided I could keep going to the same school. 8th grade, the most
Horrible.
the most miserable time of your life.
And other kids are miserable. They're mean.
Getting hormones, it's insufferable.
So she thought it was her swan song.
Yep.
And it wasn't. Oh my God. That's like where you literally think you're not going to survive.
Yep. Okay. What's the worst thing you can say in an elevator full of people? Jump Kicker writes, true story. My mom and dad were in a crowded elevator while my mom was very obviously pregnant to the point of bursting. I guess she looks at my dad and says, when are you going to tell your wife about me? My parents are happily married. She was just pranking him. My dad said it was the longest elevator ride of his life. We need to bring more of this shit back.
I like that.
It's so great.
That's clever.
I mean, because the people that get off the elevator.
I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Uh-huh. All right. The checkout moment. I worked at Forever 21 as a cashier. And I guess the customer I rang up was an IG baddie because a few people recognized her, but I didn't. And when I checked her out, she was like, this line is so long. Don't you know who I am? And I said, no, sorry. And then her credit card declined for $1.35.
Here's the deal. Anytime anyone says, don't you know who I am? Immediate red flag, immediate stay away from me. I immediately hate you.
Immediate.
It's just like, fuck off. And it's just poetic justice that her card declined for $1.
And like the self-manufactured Instagram fame, I'm all for it. It's a free country. You started with your phone and started hustling.
Right.
And you're made all the way up to however many followers it is that you want to be successful. But to think that you deserve like to be cut in line and shit like that is gross.
It's gross. And I have a friend that owns a clothing store here in town. And she says people will come in all the time and be like, I'm an influencer. So do I get a discount?
It's wild. Influencer culture is wild. I mean, it is just really, really wild.
There's a video going viral right now. There was a big after party that someone threw, and the influencer is posting it. And she's like, I'm leaving because look at this. And the entrance of it, there's a sign that says, an arrow to the left, enter this way if you have 1 million followers or up. And then the other half of the party to the right, if you have under 1 million followers, you go this way. So there's I mean, literally, that's the first thing you see when you walk up. She was like, I'm leaving because this is disgusting.
Well,
I kind of appreciate it a little bit. Like, you think you're big time. How big time are you? Which door are you going in?
So
I'm assuming
were
it was
they
like,
two separate parties?
Yeah, so one was better than the other.
1 million and up, and then lower than 1 million.
Yeah.
See, I guess the situation is, number one, I'd never go to an influencer party. Right out of the gate.
right out the gate. Or a
I would
party, pretty
decline.
much, anyway.
I would say I respectfully decline. Thank
Right.
you so much for the invitation. Number two, I kind of lean to pumps a little bit. It's kind of like we want there to be a line at TSA for the people that are good at it.
Right.
And the people that aren't good at going through TSA get the shitty line. But I would feel bad for like somebody who had built a really fantastic Instagram profile, who maybe was a better influencer than somebody else who has like 3 million. They just had one viral video. I don't know. I just think young egos and the internet influencing is tough business. Lots of hurt feelings, lots of butthurt shit. It's just, they put themselves out there to be vulnerable and then they get dissed and they have a lot of anxiety. See, being an old hag, you're just immune to that shit. You don't care.
You don't give a shit. There's just a lot of butthurt around influencing.
Kylie read those
You're right.
hate comments to us, and I just, number one, it wasn't that great of a hate comment.
Right.
Number two, thank you for taking the time to comment on us.
Right.
But when you're young and you're in your
Everything.
20s, that can be devastating
Yeah.
to read that shit.
Especially when that generation is so focused on their social media presence.
Oh, yeah.
So the humility probably was just a tough pill to swallow.
Okay, here's one called the meow moment. I was just singing and singing into my meeting, and my microphone was on. Worst part, I was using the word meow for all of the real words. I was meowing to the final countdown. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
That's the shit you do at Home Alone, though.
Right. I know.
You do.
I gotta wonder. I mean, Why are you meowing the words to the final countdown?
Meow, 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 meow. Well, you've done
I
shit
get it.
like that. I totally get that. You're bored to
I
tears.
know, but the meow.
Somebody's
I would know some of the
grandstanding.
words.
Somebody's grandstanding on the Zoom, so you just start. I think that's the most relatable one we've read. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
I like that she was embarrassed to do it. You're just doing it on your podcast for everybody.
Totally.
Got quite a meow.
I totally relate to that. Like you're just bored
I would
to
do
tears.
the humming. I don't know that I just don't know that I'm creative enough to do the meow.
Well,
Ma.
the eye surgery moment. A friend had eye surgery. Even though his vision was still blurry, he went to a restaurant. He went to the bathroom where he saw a man approaching him, and they awkwardly did the "no, you go, no, you go" for a couple of minutes. Turns out he was standing in front of a mirror the entire time.
Oh gosh, that's my future.
Okay, here's one. Connor says, "That's nothing. My wife and I met her friend for lunch one day. I bent over to give her friend's baby a peck on the cheek. Didn't see she was breastfeeding until it was too late.
Oh God.
It wasn't her baby that I kissed."
So he reached down and kissed this woman's breast the first time he met her. It's hard to recover from that.
It's so hard to recover. Okay. Gary says, once a guy DM'd me on Instagram and I looked at his profile and saw that he had just posted pics of his engagement a week ago. So I DM'd the girl in the pics to say her fiance was DMing me. She told me the guy that DM'd me was their photographer, and that's why I hate myself.
Oh my gosh, that is so bad.
She thought she was whistleblowing.
Right. She was like, I'm helping a girl out.
Yeah.
And it was the photographer.
It was the photographer the whole time.
Oh God. Now that is something I would
have
do.
to say, we should talk about people, men or women, that think that they can get away with cheating in DMs because it's screenshot, it's a track back to the real life. And it's just fascinating to me how people still continue to do it when it is a digital record of the infidelity.
Right. You would think that they would at least go out of their way to make a burner account. But so many of these people don't.
No.
They just do it.
No.
It's unbelievable.
It really is.
But you know what I like is people now like screenshotting it, sending it to the person, the whistleblowing. I like the whistleblowing. Now, in this particular case, it was a fail.
Right.
But there's a lot of positive whistleblowing.
Yeah, I just think at the end of the day, like without like 100% proof, I'm not meddling in somebody else's shit.
For sure.
I'm not going to be a whistleblower. I'm not going to snitch out that shit.
No, I wouldn't either. But I think it's an important service in a lot of relationships.
I do too. All right. The 7-Eleven moment. This morning, I got a drink from 7-Eleven and the cashier said, "You could get 2 more if you wanted." And so I got 2 more because I thought she meant there was a promo. But there wasn't a promo. I just paid full price for 3 of the same drink. Why did she do this?
Why did she?
That's so smart. You can get 3 more if you want.
That's what I thought. I thought he was going to get half off. Why would you say that?
Why did she do this?
I would have fallen for it.
You know what? Here's the deal. I kind of am team cashier. She's just like, look, I fucking work at 7-Eleven.
I'm gonna
Okay,
fuck with
they're
people.
not. I'm not getting paid well. It's just a mixed bag of people that come into
Yeah.
this place. I'm going to start fucking with society back. Somebody comes up, they put a Snicker bar down. You can get sweet tarts and a Milky Way too. Oh, okay. And then ring them all up. I'm kind of into it. I kind of dig it. I think it's innovative. I think it's industrious.
It makes me think, like, was there a run on that product? Like, if you sell a certain amount of product, you get, or do
I
you
think
think
she's
it's just
fucking
a
with
general
people.
fuck?
I think she's just fucking with people. You can get 2 more if you want. I'm into it.
Just see what happens.
I like it.
I would
'Cause
have raced and got some
He's
more.
sitting here saying, Why did she do this? There wasn't a promo. I just paid full price for 3 of the same drink.
You know what Karen would have done in that situation? Well, I don't want the other 2 if they're full price. Then you'd have to go through the whole transaction again. It'd be a huge pain in the ass.
Pumps, now that the heat is rolling in, I'm playing so much tennis and pickleball that I have to be constantly aware that I don't stink because body odor is totally canceled. And thanks to the Lumi products, I smell fresh as a daisy.
I love the Lumi whole body deodorant. It's safe to put anywhere on your body, especially like it on my underboobs, thigh folds, belly button, and butt crack. I also love the after workout wipes. You can just work out and go with these wipes.
Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code HADIT for 15% off on your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code HADIT at LumiDeodorant.com. Pumps, with as busy as we are with having 2 careers, you're a lawyer, I'm an interior designer, and then we have this podcast. I just don't have time to go to the grocery store.
It is so hard to get everything I need. Thank goodness I found Thrive Market. Thrive Market gives all household essentials and groceries, and they come straight to your door. What I love about Thrive Market is I save on average about 30% off each time I shop because they have a price match guarantee and a deals page that changes weekly.
I love that Thrive Market only allows trusted, top quality ingredients while restricting 1,000 plus harmful ingredients like artificial flavors, high fructose corn syrup, and more. Whether you're looking for organic kid snacks, low sugar alternatives, or high protein essentials, you can curate your own shopping experience with a few clicks and trust that you are getting quality products so that you can shop worry-free. Listeners, save time and money and shop Thrive Market today. Go to thrivemarket.com/hadit for 30% off your first order, plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/hadit. thrivemarket.com/hadit. Listener, recently Pumps wanted to plan a trip for her and her children to go to New York as an end of the school year mother-kids trip. And Pumps is not so good at booking. So she came into my office and we sat down and logged on to Viator. Viator made everything so easy and seamless. We cannot recommend it enough. Viator can help you plan better travel experiences. 300,000 plus travel experiences to choose from means you can plan something that everyone you're traveling with will enjoy. Enjoy real traveler reviews to get insider information from people who've already been on the experience you're considering. Free cancellation helps you plan for the unexpected. Plus, Viator offers 24/7 customer service, so you know you'll get support at any hour if things aren't going as planned. Download the Viator app now and use the code Viator10 for 10% off your first booking in the app. Find the perfect travel experiences for you. Do more with Viator. Okay, here's one. Guys, for the past 2 years, the ticket man at my station has baffled me. Some days we get on like a house on fire, chatting about life. Other days he won't even return a hello. Turns out to be a pair of identical twins who both work there. 2 separate men. This has been going on for 2 years.
The identical twins just fucks with people.
Yeah.
It fucks with me. I mean, I get it. I fall prey. I do though. There are people in your life. I mean, it's not completely unheard of where you see somebody one day and they're super nice, and then the next day they act like they don't know you.
That happens all the fucking time. I feel like I deal with this all the time without it being a twin issue.
Right.
I feel like it's nonstop. You have a friend and you're like, oh my God, this gal's so great. She's so nice. She's so friendly. And then you see her or him a few days later and you're like, what a dick.
Total dick.
There's this one gal that our kids went to elementary school together. She's super friendly, saw her multiple times. And then I saw her a few other times and was just a total bitch. And now she's back on being nice. And you have to realize at first you think it's about you.
Right.
But it's typically not. It's typically about that person, and, maybe it's more authentic to just not be friendly all the time and feign.
Right. If you're in a bad mood, just say like, fuck you, I don't want to talk.
Right.
I mean, part of me, I can go for that.
My mom and little brother switched phones and my mom received this text and I am crying, laughing my ass off. The text is sent to the phone and it says, "Need bud?" ? And the mom responds, "My son no longer has this phone number. Does he need what?" And the friend responds, "Bud, a buddy. I heard he lonely AF."
It's a good friend.
That is a good
Totally
friend.
covered. I mean,
Total cover.
totally covered it. Yes.
I love that. How about, okay, so the mom and the son switched phones. And then so they didn't tell anyone. That's pretty dicey.
That is dangerous.
That is dangerous.
Well, probably the mom switched on purpose.
No, I know.
Right. And didn't tell anyone.
Right.
For the purposes of this type
that
of
person,
ambush.
That friend caught it right away. I would have been like, what? Is this not so-and-so?
All right. So Paul writes, "So this is how I learned my work calendar wasn't private. Paul, I want to do the product intro to blank on Friday. And on the only good spot for most people, you have a blocker called Get a Chicken. Is that something you could move to join us?" So the guy's writing his to-do list on the calendar, and it's a shared calendar. This is like you in the first 8 months of the podcast.
Yes, I did it.
Put down your doctor's appointments and all of the things that you needed to do.
Invited everybody to everything.
You sent out invitations to your gynecologist appointment. Somebody writes on Reddit, "How do I communicate with blind people? Like, obviously there's Braille, but is there some form of clicking I can do with my tongue to simulate Braille verbally?" And then some time goes by and he writes, "Edit. Never mind, you could just talk to them."
I'm surprised he just didn't get devoured on Reddit for that. Like, fucking talk to him, you bozo.
Okay, this is 100% something you would do.
Okay.
Vitone writes, "Happy and I visited a winery in Sonoma, and the man running the wine tasting demonstrated taking a sip of wine and holding it in your mouth while inhaling air to release the flavor/scent. Hubby tried it, choked on the wine, and projectile spit it out all over the wine guy. Horrifying." 100%.
I would totally do that.
100%.
I'm trying to even think how you would do that. That's tough stuff.
Oh, there's so much fuckery that goes into wine tasting.
Right. There's a lot of
And
drama.
it's a lot of theater
Yeah.
in it. And it's such a rich person thing where it's like, you're talking about all of these things. And here's the situation. I think you can put down like 7 or 8 glasses of wine, and pretty much to the 95% of all consumers of it are not going to be able to tell a
the
huge difference. But we're trotting out sommeliers.
Right.
We're trotting out all these wine trips, and people feign as though they're interested in the type of grape and the hints of flavor. And the fact of the matter is, all anybody's interested in is getting tipsy.
Right.
They don't give a fuck about all of the other shit, but there's so many things that we feign interest in, to seem cultured. And I'm going to tell you, I have fallen prey to the wine culture bullshit. I've been to many wine tastings back when I drank.
Right.
And here's what sucks about a wine tasting. You're going, like, when I drank, I wanted a glass or two of wine. I wanted the entire thing.
Right.
Well, they pour this tiny little 1/2 inch sip and you twirl it around and you look for legs. Then you take a sip and it's just like you don't even get the buzz because it's all of this grandstanding about the legs on it, the scent, this guy's projectile spitting all over the wine person. It's a racket. I've had it.
It's a huge racket. And I am one of those people that I cannot tell my ass from a hole in the ground when it comes to wine. They all taste the same.
Next up, we have the dumpster moment. I didn't realize my mic was on this work meeting and just asked my cat, "Who's my little pee-pee boy?" because he was peeing. I'm going to go sit in a dumpster now. Here's the deal. I want this to happen on our Zoom calls.
I do too. Or I want somebody to stand up without their pants on.
Here we go again.
No, but you've seen that all the time.
You probably want someone to just start beating off. Get out the lotion and the tissue. And Pumps is going to be like, oh, this is getting good.
No, but you see all that all the time. Like our Zooms, nothing ever exciting like that happens.
Never.
It's just always professional, blah, 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 blah. Corporate speak, blah,
no
blah, blah, blah,
dicks.
blah.
Yeah. Lip
No
dicks.
dicks.
No lotion.
No lotion, no tissues.
No masturbating. No, who's my little pee-pee boy? No. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
We're just not on the right Zooms.
No, we're not, because these are the Zooms that I want to be a part of.
I would be interested in that Zoom.
Okay. Last one. Javier Acosta says, my friend lied on his CV that he mastered the piano at age 15. And now he's been asked if he can play for the board of directors on Friday. Then Javier follows up and responds to his own tweet and says, man has been sitting in the car for the past half hour Googling the most painless way to break your fingers.
I was just thinking I would literally break my hands.
That's what I was thinking. I would go to Walgreens and get one of those things that you slide on your finger and say, oh my gosh, I broke my finger. First of all, I didn't even know people read resume deals anymore. But to put that you mastered the piano at 15 and not be able to play it, man, that fucking sucks they read that.
I mean, that is making those type of extraordinary lies, it's impossible to sustain.
No, I mean, because look, this guy was like, oh my gosh, he mastered the piano at 15. He's got to be great.
Let's have him play.
Let's have him play in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be getting me a brace on that finger. Painless way to break your finger.
It's so bad.
I mean, okay, in a situation like that, do you go in, if your job has nothing to do, you're like performing well at your job, everything's going well, do you go in and say, you know, I put that on my resume, but I really need to take it off?
Here's the situation.
You just write it, wear brace.
I think at that point you have to write it, because if I had an employee that wrote something like that, okay, and then I found out 6-7 months later that it was complete bullshit, and then they came and confessed, hey, you know, you keep asking me to play the guitar at our holiday party. I actually can't play the guitar. I would know that this person was some level of a psycho. Maybe not full blown, maybe not a 10, but I would just know that I have got to do everything in my power to figure out a way to fire this person because they can no longer work for me. I don't think that as an employer, I could get past it.
You wouldn't put them on a watch list. You'd be looking for a way out.
I would be like, okay, listen here, I'm going to like start documenting every second they're late. I would figure out a way to fire the person because I do not think that I personally could get past it. I would be, and then I would have so many follow-up, like, why would you lie about that? Why the piano?
That's my question. Why the piano? Why?
It's kind of like the guy at 7-Eleven. Why did she do that?
Right. Why?
Because she was just fucking with him. And that I kind of get. She's
that.
working at 7-Eleven. Life might, you know, she's not probably getting paid what she deserves to be paid dealing with all this bullshit. She wanted to fuck back with people. But the grandstanding about a skill that you don't have, I can't get on board with that.
You think they were just trying to set themselves apart and be special?
I think that lie doesn't exist in a vacuum. I think what you have right here is a compulsive liar. 100% you've got a compulsive liar, and this person probably says they speak 5 to 6 languages. They only speak English, and it could go on and on and on. How I know this is I have had a friend that was a compulsive liar, and it told these fantastical lies that were verifiably false. You can also look at maybe like Donald Trump.
Right.
He's a compulsive liar, and he tells these, fantastical lies on and on and on again, and they're all verifiably false. This is just why I think you cannot trust it. I think it's a slippery slope that leads directly to Trumpism. Starts with saying that you can play Mozart. The next thing you know, January 6th, horns on head, bullhorn, hanging Mike Pence.
Somewhere on that slope, is there a Stanley Cup involved?
100%. When the person typed that on the resume, they did it right after sipping from a Stanley Cup. There's no question the lead in the Stanley Cup causes compulsive lying and leads directly to Trumpism and a crystal meth addiction. I didn't tell you I added that to my research over the weekend.
Added that over the weekend?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of anecdotal evidence to that? Stanley Cup?
A hunch. Stanley Cups lead to Trumpism and an addiction to crystal meth.
It's a gateway drug.
As well as a life in prostitution. Not that there's anything wrong with sex workers. I just have heard that's what happened. Speaking of lying and making shit up.
At least that's more interesting.
Yeah.
To play the piano.
Could you imagine the stress?
No, I can't.
But here's the deal. That's not the only lie. That's such a big lie.
They probably said they graduated like summa cum laude.
There's a bunch of shit. I guarantee you that person, the faux piano player, has so many lies on his resume and just in the day-to-day life. I bet there are so many. Because why?
Why put that on there? I would never even think to put on that. I'm not that creative.
I'm a concert violinist.
I can play the cello.
I'm an astronaut. I'm a good podcaster.
Lie. We know that's a lie.
All right, listeners. That's it. We're going to start our Patreon post show right now because we want to and we can. And on that episode, Pumps is going to play the cello.
Right. And we will see you next Tuesday or Thursday or both.
I'll tell you what I've had it with.